and you're gonna outbeat your competition like this. We kill it this way. Hey, what's up, world? Antonio Edwards here. Look, I want to, give you some more gems. First and foremost, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, click below this video, hit the subscribe button right now. I drop, videos all the time, giving away. I love giving back and giving away, value. And hope if you've been following me for a long time, you implementing this stuff. I know my students inside my academy are, they're doing deals. But the point of this video is to give you 3 ways. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna talk about the 3 ways to flip a house without using any of your cash or credit. All right. So the first way, if you've been following me for a while, you know the traditional wholesaling. All right. So with traditional wholesaling, what you're essentially doing, all you're doing is finding a distressed property. And by the way, if you're watching this video, at this current state, we're in a pandemic, and there are a lot of more motivated sellers than ever right now. All right, so you just get that out first. All right, so the first way is to traditional wholesaling. All right, most of you who have been following me for a while, who've been watching my videos, know what traditional wholesaling is. For those of you that don't, traditional wholesaling, number one way is you're finding a distressed property, a motivated seller that has equity in their property, right? And you might ask yourself, okay, distress, equity, they're willing to sell their equity to get out the distressed situation. So you might ask yourself, like, why would somebody sell their equity in their property, to somebody like us? The reason is because they're motivated and they're looking to get from point A, which is the distressed situation they're in, over to point B, to a better situation. So they want to get rid of this property, this house, to get over here, and they need to sell this first. So you go along with your marketing strategies that I teach in my academy. I teach all my students the secret marketing strategies to find deals like this in their market. In any market, it works like this. You lock a property up with a distressed seller, right? Just say, I'll just give you a perfect example. My very first real estate deal, I locked the property up. It was 5 heirs, right? It was 4 crackhead brothers living in the property. That's a distressed situation right there. The other heir was, he had power of attorney over all the brothers, so he was the one that had control or the say so to sell the property. So he called me from one of my marketing pieces at the time. This is in 2009. And he needed to sell the property. His 4 brothers was living in the property. They were crackheads. No electricity, no power. And this was a bread and butter neighborhood. And this was the ugliest property in the neighborhood. So I went there, right, with my mentor at the time, and we locked this property up for $48,000. The after repair value fixed up was worth $140. So we got a property that the seller was willing to sell, get rid of his equity because it was a distressed situation. The house needed work. It had crackhead brothers in the property. That's some different distress factors there. We locked it up for $48,000, and the property was worth $140 fixed up, or after repair value. So we looked and we knew buyers were buying the properties in there from 60 to 65K on average. So that same day, we had a buyer that was willing to buy the property for $60,500. So I assigned this is a traditional wholesale deal. I assigned my property to that end buyer for a $12,500 assignment fee. I got it locked up with that seller for $48,000. His total sales price was $60,500. So if you subtract that number, $60,500 minus the $48,000 I have with my seller, the difference is my cut, the assignment fee, $12,500. Now that is a traditional wholesaling way. That's one of the easiest strategies to understand. There's a lot of properties like this you can find, yes, in your market, and yes, there's more cash buyers than ever right now looking for these type of deals. Now, to outbeat your competition, let's start to go to number 2 and 3. All right, so the second way is to target properties without equity on purpose, and you're going to outbeat your competition like this. We kill it this way, and I have 3 markets I do this way. I kill it, crush it. All right, so the first way is you're going to get a property locked up via subject to, and you might ask yourself, okay, Antonio, what is a subject to? A subject to is any property, any homeowner that has a property with a loan on that property. So just say if that property was worth $250,000. Just say that the full value fixed up was worth $250,000. Let me know where I go to, AJ. All right, $250,000, right? And they have a loan on the property for $225,000, right? But it's a pretty house. It's a pretty, is overall is a good property. So the ARV is $250, and the loan on the property is $225. They owe $225. And just say the payment is on a $225,000 mortgage. Just say the payment is $1,500 a month, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And just say it's this 20 years left on the loan. Let's say it was originally a 30-year loan, but they paid it off 10 years, and it's 20 years left on the loan. So you come in. They like, oh, we can't sell this property. Nobody wants to buy it because there's no equity, blah, blah, blah. But you come in and do a little creative way. You lock that property up for, just say all they want to do is just get out of it. They just want to just leave and get rid of it for what they're going to sell it for what they owe on it, which is $225K. You lock that property up for $225,000 via subject to, meaning that they're going to sell that property and keep that loan in place, right? For $225,000, $1,500 a month, 20 years left. You're not going to change that. You're going to take that property over subject to. Here's what you do. What you're going to do. You're not going to buy that property. You're going to wholesale that subject to an in-cash buyer. And these are easier to wholesale because that cash buyer is not coming to the table with that full $225,000. He don't have to come for cash. All he got to come to the table in this case is just what your assignment fee is plus closing costs. So you're gonna, and you might be asking yourself, Antonio, how do I determine what fee I ask for a subject to? What I do, I just kind of like test the market. So like just say in my Virginia market, a $250,000 worth of property, because this house is worth $250,000 in this example, but they owe $225,000. Usually I can probably get about 15 or 20K down. All right, so I would test my market. In some markets might be 10K. So I would just test it and put, owner with I would list his own marketplace, because marketplace is your best friend to sell properties, by the way. That's the new Craigslist. So I would list it for owner with finance, and I would put the terms, $1,500 a month, 20 years, $225K, only $20,000 down plus closing costs. And then your phone will blow up. So that 20, so that 20 will be your money in your pocket. That'll be your assignment fee. So if you got a buyer that comes along and say they want to do it, you will send that buyer, he or she, that buyer, an assignment fee saying you're going to sell your subject to contract between you and the seller for a $20,000 assignment fee. So that purchase and sell contract, that subject to contract between you and the seller, goes to the closing costs. And that second contract, the assignment contract for $20,000, goes to the title company. All right, I'm sorry. So the purchase sale contract goes to the title company, and your assignment contract goes to the title company, right? And on closing day, all your buyers come to the closing table with is that $20,000, which is going in your pocket because that's your assignment fee, plus the closing costs, right? And he's going to take over that loan. That loan stays in the name of that seller, but he gets the deed to the property. The closing company is going to deed that property over to your buyer, and he owns a property via subject to that you assign to him, and you make 20 grand on. All right, so that's second. Number 3, the third way is owner financing, baby. Owner financing. All right. So here's another situation where you can work out terms. Owner financing is where a owner has a property and you don't, just say the cash deal doesn't work, right? The cash deal doesn't work. all right, at $100,000. But you can work out owner finance and work out terms where you can create terms where that $100,000 can be paid over a course of, just say, 15 years, $1,000 a month with some interest involved. I don't know what number the interest would be, but just say $1,000 a month for 15 years until that $100,000 is paid off. It's basically, they're getting that $100,000, but over time. You can create that on your purchase and sale agreement, and you can wholesale that over to your cash buyer. Kind of the same like a down payment, far as with the subject to. You kind of create your down payment like that, but you're selling the terms for an assignment fee. And let me give you a fourth one as a bonus, because I just love giving back. All right, guys, so you stuck with me this long. I'm gonna give you a fourth way. This is a special bonus for you. All right, so just for sticking me this long. All right, so the fourth way to flip a house without any cash or credit is wholesaling lease options. So we all know what a lease option is. It's just another word for rent to own. So you basically you find a property and you target people who are already renting for rent signs, and you target your neighborhoods like that, or target landlords, or even people that have properties that are for sale, but the property is just worth too much to get a traditional cash deal for traditional wholesaling, right? So similar to like a subject to how you target, just say somebody had a loan on a property. Let's just use that as the same example. You can flip the switch. So just say they said no to that subject to, right? So say they said no to subject to, like, no, I don't, because some people say no to stuff they don't understand, right? So just keep that in their mind. But a lot of people, most people understand, if not all people, understand lease options. So they said no to the subject to. They owe $225. Going back to the example, $225 on the property, and they had the property was worth $250 with a $1,500 mortgage. Like, okay, Mr. Seller, I understand that you don't want to go the subject to route. How would you like if we do a lease option to the property, right? Where we can give you your $225 and just make this a little bit more sexier. We'll give you the $250. All right, you're asking $225. We do $250 with a 3-year lease to option or rent to own program. More than likely, they're going to say yes. So you lock it up for $250K. So you have a lease for $1,500, right? Because that's their mortgage. You basically want to break it, well, let's say they want $1,700 a month, or they want $200 a month cash flow. So you do a lease for you do a lease and an option. I'm sorry, you do a lease and an option. The lease going to have on that part of the document going to have $1,700 a month, because that's what they want. They want to make $200 cash flow, and the price for the option is going to be $250. They wanted $225 just to get out, but you just made it even more sexier for them to take your offer. So you did $250. So now you're going to take that contract, right? And then you're going to market that contract. Property lease to own, 20 grand down. Let's go keep that same example as like the subject to. All right. So 20 grand down. So now you have a rent to own buyer. That 20,000 is going to be your assignment fee, because you're going to wholesale that lease option contract to that tenant buyer. Just say if they came like, Antonio, or whoever you are, they'd be like, hey, they saw you on Marketplace marketing, because Marketplace is your favorite place for finding buyers, FYI. So they come and be like, oh, I don't have the 20,000, but I got 10 grand. I mean, I don't know about you, but 10 grand just for flipping a contract, that's sexy to me. I would take that 10 grand if I wasn't getting that many bites or that many people that didn't have that 20, because sometimes people may counter when you offer these type of deals. They'll be like, oh, I don't have 20, but I have 12,500. So now just say back to that 10 grand, you take that lease option contract, all right, and you're gonna assign it with them via just a assignment contract. And I have my lease option assignments. I have my subject to assignments in my academy, by the way, all right? But you're gonna take that lease option assignment, and you're gonna assign them that lease option contract for a $10,000 assignment fee in this example. And this doesn't even need to go to a title company. You can do this at Starbucks. We can do this right here on the street. We can just bend down and write a contract. That's how a lease option is. You can just do it anywhere, because they're not taking title, they're renting with the option to buy, where in this case is a 3-year option, meaning that the balloon for that option to buy is not due until, it's not due until 3 years. So with that being said, just recap. A traditional wholesaling, subject to owner financing and lease option. Click the subscribe right now, and if you want to get some more content, you want to get inside my academy, click the link below in the description. I'll see you on the other side.